Yes, Ina, thank you very much. I think we
Of
are doing
course.
this for after a while. I think a lot of events have been gone through in the past couple of months, a lot of travel for all of us. But yeah, good
Yes.
to see you again.
Oh my God, spring has been very, very busy. And I've seen Snapsight being used everywhere, and that was good. I connected with all the colleagues at IMAX. That was also super nice. And now it's summer. So is it a bit more quiet for you now in summer or still very busy?
We would love to be have some quiet time, but to be honest, it is US is picking up a lot. There's a lot of action in the states for this, and there are a lot of events that we're covering now in that geography. But yeah, I think August will be a mix. I was taking some personal time off as well, but it will be good to take some break. But it's exciting times for us. Actually, this is very exciting times because all the work we had put in last year, we're seeing the fruits now and the growth and everything. So that's something that excites us.
Yeah. And to everybody who's watching us, thanks for watching us. I know it's summer, and depending where you are in the world, you might have summer holidays, or you are at the beach right now, or you're still in the office or at home. Let us know. I'm very curious who's watching us now in July, and where you're joining us from, and what is your summer plan? So drop it in the chat. We're very curious who's watching us right now live. And for whoever who is watching us live right now, we have something exciting and something new at this LinkedIn Live, because we have a very nice giveaway. So Snapsight proudly sponsors annual subscription for their tool for the lucky winner. So make sure that you're engaging very actively in the chat. You answer my questions and you ask any questions for us, like it, and so on. And then after the LinkedIn Live, we will select the lucky winner for the lucky team that wins the annual subscription. So I'm very excited for that, and thanks Snapsight for giving us this very nice.
Absolutely. And it's just not the subscription part of it. It's like you can get a chance to create this experience for your largest event as well. It might be 10, 20, 50 sessions, as big as it gets. We are hoping to get that experience to the biggest one. So feel free to chat, ask questions, and like, comment, so that we get you on the top tier for the winner.
Perfect. Okay. So, and while we're waiting until people are joining and putting their messages in the chat, you can just go do it throughout the whole next 15 minutes, I would say, that the time that we are chatting. I would say let's get things started, and maybe beforehand, and then explain to us, because a few months ago we also had a LinkedIn Live where we discussed about new features and updates and so on. And now there are these very big updates, I feel like. So what's the difference?
Yeah, of course. So last time when we did it, there were some updates which were more tactical in nature. They had some optimizations, and there was some, uh, I would say, some level of beautification as well, because we were growing in a certain direction. But now this is a direction that we've started off last year itself. End of last year, we opened the doors for live text translation. So that was a big move for us. As a category, we had created summarization. Now we moved into the bigger one, the translation, which was an older traditional experience. But now we have combined it and created a similar single view. Now the updates are all now more grander, and it will add more value to the entire experience, and it opens up bigger opportunities for small to the large event. So all of them are now a part of the journey now.
Okay. Okay, so let's listen to the updates, and then I'm asking you, which one are you mostly excited about? I'm just curious because there are a couple. So then, I'm curious which one you are very much cheering for. But go ahead and tell us a little bit about the new features.
Sure. So the biggest uh, takeaway from, no pun intended, but takeaway from this updates is that every update that we created was a direct ask from a or a few or more than a few users itself. So we've had hundreds of users last year, and we've deployed it in hundreds of events. And last 2 quarters have been taking feedback and understanding what kind of small change or big change impacts a user directly. This, until now, we were kind of creating and imagining our own way, but now we take the end user's experience and feedback more. So the first initial one is optimizing the live captioning experience. We started, as we understand, it is not a new technology or even a new experience, but we need to add our own touch to it, especially when you're creating this experience for the new age audience who does not have the attention span. We need to create a more animated and a more softer experience as well. So that's where the latency plays a role. So now at lesser than 1 second, the transcription and the translation is in real time. It is simplified, it is simple and agile. Of course, the big range is that 86 languages are catered to, but this you whatever language you are in selection, it's so simple and smooth as well. And also the presentation view. Now at events, conferences, or even press conferences as well, you would want relay screens, display screens, showing the captioning in real time. So that is now possible with a very simple way, so that you have a presentation view in Snapsight where you open it up and keep it on these relay screens so that the captioning keeps on happening the entire day.
Nice.
All the sessions as well.
Okay.
The second one, this has been long coming. Marketing teams, whenever they join our calls, there is this huge groups who join event teams, operations, and marketing. This is 100% question. Can we brand it? Can we monetize it? Can we sell it to an exhibitor? This is something that we've catered to now. So I hope the marketing teams who are listening are more happier than this, because now you can customize screens which are the presentation screens. At an event, when Snapsight is deployed, before the event or throughout the event, there are display screens where you can scan the QR code, you can see the takeaways, the idea cloud, and the summary in real time. Before, it was a plain and just a logo of Snapsight, and that's about it. The inclusion of one logo was there, which was ideally the event logo or the organizer's logo. But now we've added the element of customization. So this is an added layer where you can see that this is an example I picked of HubSpot. HubSpot has a color, a theme, a palette. You see the background mixes with their palette itself. So if you see them doing an event like Inbound itself, you will be able to visualize this in their event, where all of the screens can also have this, and their logos and their colors are also implied in this. More colors, more customization. You can customize it to the T, where you can do it on a project level. You can do it on a session level.
Oh, wow.
And what opens up when you do it on a session level? Moolah, money. Because an exhibitor now can be a part of each session. Each session or a track can be sponsored by somebody. And when this gives organizers a chance to get sponsorships according to tracks, acknowledge them as knowledge partners or even session partners as well. And their logo or even more logos can also be added here. So this is how the backend also is simple. There's no need for an organizer to work with us for everything. It is simple DIY. As you see, there is a text update, a text option. You can select the text, you can color it, you can give it a background change, you can create a gradient change, you can put your HAX numbers there to select the brand numbers, and the text sizes can be configured as well. And finally, the background image. As you saw, the background image, that can be just a solid color, a gradient color, or best part is that there is also an option to upload an image. So marketing teams would generally love this because they have these assets lying around and they have to use it. They can now use it, different types of assets in all of their events as well.
Nice. Okay. And it looks very simple. I like that. Yeah.
Super simple. As I can do it, so anybody can do it.
Very good.
And the next one, access control. As we graduate to just not tech and commercial and business and association events, we have done a lot of government events this year. What that opened up is the question of access control and also the ease and the simple way to access it. Let us visualize this. When I go and sit in an event which only I need to have eyes on and not from somebody who's not sitting in the room. Now, that is where you should have a more security conscious experience. So that's where the restriction is possible. An example how you can do it is that you can create a project in Snapsight where you can have an access code from the backend. So only through that code that the session summaries will be opened up to the attendee when you're accessing it through the QR code. And it is a private mode activated for events. And then there is a session level restriction. So what happens is that when an attendee is scanning the QR code, they get the access to it. But how do they get it is that the QR code is auto unlocked because it is live at the session. The password is pre-filled and is opened up. But the trick here is that the catch here is that the attendee cannot share that link to a peer who is not in that room itself. So they would not be able to access it because the access code does not unlock for them. So this is the advantage to it. Of course, there is a better layer to it where there is an event app which can be directly utilized where there is a big filter there. But this opens up the opportunity where you can promote the summaries more throughout the event. The entire event you can put on QR codes. So people who are actually accessing the event itself would be opening up session summaries.
Yeah, I like that because I mean, sometimes you have smaller sessions for like the senior management or, you know, other people, and the organizers still want the summaries of these sessions, but it should not be made public. And then they can just easily restrict that session, for example, you know, make it as a project. And then the summary stays only with those people that should see it, you know. So I do like that. And even I think also, I mean, from from an admin point of view, like even if they don't want to share the QR code, like they have access to it in the background. So if they just need it for their administration, for their note taking, stuff like that, you know. So I think it opens up to more sessions, to more like wider event use, to not only the plenary sessions, but also to more like private meetings. So I see lots of like use cases for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we have a question also saying that the controls are implemented by the organizer. Yes. So there is no interaction. You would not like me. So there is no need for me to be engaged on this because it's a very DIY experience. The backend is project when it's created. You can even toggle on the access code. When you create the access code, it is directly there, and you can copy it. And if you would like to, you can even share it to your particular attendees directly. But if not, it will directly auto-populate when somebody scans the QR code.
Yeah, easy, easy, easy. Thanks, Senya, for the question. Okay.
Yes, so yeah, that opens up really a lot of avenues for this. And then, so which this is not a feature, this is fairly new, but this is an aspect where we've created a better experience. Before we used to support webinars and also other virtual events as well, but now we have a more easier experience where we support virtual events through just adding just the link in it. So Snapsight ad is get bot directly joins the meeting and picks up the takeaways, and the idea cloud summaries is generated. So it is not a big task for the organizer anymore to kind of plan and deploy this as well. So made it easy and simple. And while creating the sessions only, you can see that the drop down has the in-person, the webinar, and even as we discussed last time, the on-demand as well. So everything is in one single space as well. All the content in one single, I would say, organization. You can have everything under the one under roof.
Yeah, I like that because sometimes I'm talking to some of my clients and they use so many different tools, you know, then they use something else for the virtual meetings, they use something else for webinars, they use something else for or on-demand sessions, or they don't even create summary, or like they create the summaries by hand basically. And now, you know, like even if they have like one big in-person event a year and smaller webinars, smaller virtual engagements throughout the year, they can only use Snapsight for that. And I think that makes it very easy to create these overarching reports, for example, you know, or analysis and so on. So like it's not necessary to combine the different tools, you know, because that it makes room for errors, and then you can't create these nice reports. But just use Snapsight for all of this, and it makes it very easy, I feel.
Yeah, you access to transcripts, access to the backend, ability to change it. So I remember many people just come in, and this is not a, this is not surprising, but they do say that, hey, I just use my recorder in one of the meeting that I've had. I feel, of course, it's cost
Mhm.
effective as well. So if you have a file which is old and it is something that was simple, and you don't want that experience, you can still use Snapsight by uploading things and keeping it on demand, but keeping everything in the under the same under the same library, so that
Yeah.
you can then utilize it whenever you want as well.
That's what I mean, and because also sometimes now there are associations that have what I said, like the one in-person event, but then the smaller engagement throughout the year, but it's still called one event maybe, or even if not, maybe it's one theme or whatever they want to discuss. And now, the tool can analyze all of this together, even though it didn't take place in the 3 days in a venue or something like this. So that's in that sense, I like that you can now cross events, kind of like
Yeah, across, it's
combine it.
across the board now.
Yeah,
Absolutely, you can. Now there is no restriction. Now there's only if there are two teams I work with, uh, uh, especially market research companies, which in the likes of IQPC or Reuters, anybody in that space, they have multiple teams who have to work on this. So you can't just say that I will work with somebody who is uh, using only the big conference as a client. I can't say that, right? Because at the end of the day, all of whatever these organizations are creating, all experiences matter, and then it curates into the big content there. So yeah, I think yeah,
yeah.
the question is how many recordings. No, there's no limit. Of course, it's based on the subscription that you utilize us for. So we have two types of subscriptions. One is for corporates and one is for associations who are nonprofits. So we would have a different limit there. But yeah, as somebody if we're working with associations, there is more uh, segue for you to use more content and more process. And
Mhm.
as sessions, the duration can be as long as 2.5, 3 hours as well. It will not be an issue.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. That was my follow-up question. Okay, that's very long. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can be good big long keynote sessions, virtual
Yeah,
events, workshops.
yeah, indeed. Okay, next.
Yes. So coming from virtual events, there is the big one, which the work started early on, but as I told you, we transitioned into the transcription place a while back, and this is a big feature because now this opens up a lot of discussions for a lot of avenues, which is called Snapsight Audio. Snapsight Audio is, I know we didn't do a drum roll, but it's still a big announcement because now we are enabling the attendee to listen the content as well at their own convenience. So why is it different? You can't, and anybody who's listening may say that, hey, Anand, you don't fool us here because we've been listening to content for a while. But I'll tell you how this is different is that we are enabling the experience of first thing, the live text transcription is now audible, but at the same time the summaries, the key takeaways are also audible in a more organic way. So we created this Spotify for events, so
Yeah,
that when you're done, so let's say that this is the experience, so when the sessions, the timex got completed, you would see the live text, the live transcription in an audio format when in just simple play mode, where they can just go in and listen to it in entire session, or just listen to the takeaways itself, or the ideas that was discussed there, or the summary itself in any
mhm.
preferred language. So that would be more, I would say events have a very different dynamic now. We all would love to go and listen to all of the sessions, but end of the day you have as much as time as possible. So when you're getting back, or you're going back to a different venue or anything, you still have time to go through what the session that you missed. So that's where we also have enabled it with multiple voices as well. So it's just not one way that it is coming in. You can select the way it has there. So let's say that you pick a voice which is in English.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see such an engaged audience here today.
Fluid.
Artificial intelligence is not just a buzzword, it's
Yep, we know.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see such an engaged audience here today. Artificial intelligence is not just a buzzword.
And then just a quick Chinese.
大家早上好，很高兴
Yeah,
看到今天在座的观众如
pretty real, right? That's
Pretty
nice.
real, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's more as well. There's more tones and there's more human-like tone as well. We will be adding in so that it would not be just on a high level, but also more deeper. So that end of the day, you should not feel like you're just listening to the session. It should kind of be like a podcast or an experience that you're just listening and walking around as well.
Mm-hmm. Summary.
So the big four, there is the presentation mode that the marketing team would be really excited, and also the exhibition salespeople, because there's one big additional real estate for them. And then access control, the secure events, indoor events, internal events as well now have a big experience change where there is more level of security. And then optimization of our virtual events as well. And the big one is Snapsight audio.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That kind of summarizes it.
So, like, do you have a ranking? Like, which one are you most excited about?
To be honest, as much as audio is very big, Snapsight audio changes the dynamic. Now we've entered into something bigger, and the spaces attracts much more different kinds of audience. Even education and institutions, organizations doing even press releases, anything, all of that comes into play. But to be honest, the branded presentation really gives me, I would say, a satisfaction, because I've been asked this question by marketing teams a lot. Now I think I'm coming up with something that they like. So these are my two favorites.
Okay, good. And whoever is watching us, Senya and the others, let us know what is your favorite? Like, where do you see, like, oh wow, my team would be very excited about this and this. I think for me, it's also the branded presentation mode, because a lot of times clients of me like asking like, how can I create sponsorship options and monetize certain tools. And I think this is a great way, because I know you can add the logo in the reports that you create after the event, but also already during the event, and everybody sees your logo up there when they have the option to scan the QR code, for the summaries and for the transcription as well. So I really do like that. So maybe that would be my number one. But I also like the access control, because like sometimes I do have like private meetings or meetings where they would love to have the summaries as well, or the transcription, or they need translation. But other people should not hear about the content of what is discussed. So I really, really do like that, to privatize certain sessions, and also the on-demand session support, because sometimes I have webinars, LinkedIn Lives, or other meetings that I would like to have a summary of or transcribed, and now I can just upload it to Snapsight. So that's I do like that. And Xenia agrees. Monetization is a great thing. Of course, we
all love money.
Yes, and sometimes it's necessary to sustain an event, so.
And it is, of course, it is an opportunity, great opportunity for so many, because you are creating that experience and you have a captive audience there. So why not use that time for actually double downing and creating that recall for a brand or an exhibitor as well?
Yeah, no, I do agree. And just a reminder for our giveaway prize. So we are almost at the end of our live stream. But I would say we extended a little bit. So also when you watch it on demand and you reshare, so we can also do a little competition about that. So if you reshare this LinkedIn Live, we'll check afterwards, and then we select the winners among them. Is it fine, Anand?
Of course, and we should extend this, because the more people, actually, we all know that there's a lot of activity after the session completes. So absolutely, and we're happy to engage with all
We
of
give
you.
you a
So,
few more days, so make sure to comment and reshare, repost about this. Do you have any case studies,
I
any
do.
examples? Okay.
Absolutely, I do have. And I'm so excited because I was not even letting you finish the question, because this is a recent partnership that we had. And a shout out to Francisco, who is. Let me share the event that I wanted to talk about. So this is. So I was able to see the event. It is London Community Week, which just completed last week itself, and this is led by a group, bunch of amazing individuals as a team as well. They've been created this experience where, when we partnered with their team, we actually didn't foresee the kind of energy that they would bring in and the way they would use Snapsight as well. So this community week, first thing, had a great uh, set and a great speakers as well on their agenda itself. So they had multiple speakers from the tech community, from the cybersecurity, in multiple layers as well. So when we understood that the programming of this event was spot on, that was one great uh, uh, great way that we understood that there is a lot of synergy in here. But when after the event is completed, so when the event was completed, we saw that, let's take an example, that this is London Community Week's LinkedIn page, and we saw that for every speaker, so this is a speaker from Google, events and experiences manager, and they are, at every speaker we were able to give a summary and acknowledge the speaker also on LinkedIn. So what happens here is that there's a great story which is shared at the event, again amplified on LinkedIn as well. So first the speaker is tagged, you would see the summary at what happened there, and you would also get direct visual of what the speaker was speaking about, and you would also see there is a lot of activity on LinkedIn as well. And this is just not for one speaker. You can see that almost all the speakers, especially the main track speakers, have been acknowledged on their LinkedIn and socials. So this makes it a big win for the speakers, the organizers as well. As you see here, for each post, there's a different kind of engagement, and this does not stop here. There is engagement on every level. So each speaker has a different, diverse reach. So you're getting that reach for everyone, and the next week, I'm sure that this does not stop, because then you can repurpose other content as well. The quotes are directly attributed to them, so we know that what they've contributed is directly by them itself. So how does this look?
Good, interesting. No, it's very useful. It saves the client lots of time, I feel, like the organizer, because it is difficult to capture the whole content. And like this, they can just quickly click, and then they can create the post within a few minutes.
Correct. So
And I
absolutely.
like that, and it's like appreciation to the speakers, and the speakers can use it as well again, to share in their network. So it makes our lives easier.
Yeah, so I think kudos to them, a big shout out to them. It's a pleasure being partnering with them, and they're using our tech, and we hope to see more great active usage like this in the community.
Yeah, good. Okay. Is there another case study, or shall we keep it for next
I think
time?
we are on time, so I don't want to extend more. But yeah, I think that was one of because community is the new case study for us. We've discussed on conferences, we discussed associations previously, but community and smaller closed door events, 50 to 80 people attending events, all of that is the new age. So this updates, to summarize, is that we are now catering to the small virtual event manager who's doing 10, 15 webinars, to the large association who's doing an annual meeting, and then the conference organizer who's doing that 5,000 attendee event as well. So now things changed now.
I agree. Very good. Okay, next time we talk about more examples and more case studies, because Snapsight, if you follow them on LinkedIn and Instagram, and I highly ask you to do that, you see that they are everywhere. Like, they're busy. The team is traveling to all the events, and stuff like that. So they have lots of examples. And the nice thing is also that you guys listen to the feedback that, as clients, we give you, and you implement it. So that's why thanks a lot for showing us these new features. I'm very excited to use them at my upcoming events in autumn, and hear more about the other people that are using it and what you have in the pipeline next.
Sure,
and so on.
I can tease with one end of it, because
at
the end, I can say that the next update will be for the operations and the AV teams. So we have something big coming up there. We're listening to the operations aspects there. So the next update will be for the AV teams there. So yeah, and we are very excited for that.
Oh, very good. Okay, they will like it. I'm curious about that. Okay, we'll leave it with that, and we'll reveal the next updates soon with the next LinkedIn Lives. So everybody who watched us today, many thanks. Have a nice summer wherever you are. If you enjoy a nice break, please relax and enjoy, and continue watching our LinkedIn Lives. And we'll